Hi there. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kelly Tolliday, founder of Hello True Nature and the Thrive Like a Mother program. I'm a mom to one beautiful daughter and two crazy dogs, and I'm a certified yoga and meditation teacher as well as a women's wellness coach. After over a decade of practicing, studying, and teaching around the world, I now help women connect to their true nature through yoga, meditation, cycle awareness, embodiment, and more. Now, the biggest hurdle to vital, vibrant health I hear from moms just like you is time. We never have enough of it. And there's this saying, Beyonce only has 24 hours in a day, the same as you. Well, Beyonce has a whole damn team behind her running the show. And for some of us, we're the main act and the roadie crew, and the chef, chauffeur, therapist, and so much more. As a mom, it may seem impossible to be able to fit everything in 24 hours, let alone getting some much needed me time, exercise, 8 hours sleep, socializing, and everything else we're told we need to feel good. Well, I can't tell you how to magically get more hours in a day, but I can show you the strategies we use at Hello True Nature and through the Thrive Like a Mother group coaching program to help our moms maximize the time that they do have, and in return, get back those precious few hours for themselves, to connect with themselves, to focus on their health, and to pursue their dreams. It's amazing what just 3 extra hours a week can provide you with. And I get it. I'm a mom. I know what it's like to put everyone else's needs first. I know what it's like to cancel a yoga class because my daughter needs to go to the pediatrician instead. I know what it's like to get to the end of the day and think if I actually did anything productive or anything for myself. We can be so scrambled and mom brain can take over that we tend to put our energy on a million different things, but not the one thing that actually is important to us. That may be improving your overall health, or perhaps it's launching a passion project, or maybe it's just connecting with an old friend to rebuild your tribe after you lost in touch in the throes of motherhood. Whatever it is that you want to apply these extra hours to, I'm going to show you how to do it. Nothing here is earth shattering. These are all very simple, very effective strategies. So let's dive in. The first tip is called your one thing. I start each morning with my to-do list, but it's not just any to-do list. This is my one thing to-do list. See, when we have a running to-do list with no set priorities, it can be very easy to get overwhelmed by the thousands of bullet points we have on the page. It can be easy to get sidetracked with unimportant tasks and to procrastinate by finding chores to do around the house instead. It's like when you see a computer screen with 100 tabs open, it can make your head spin and it slows your computer speed down at the same time. The exact same thing applies with our mind. Now, what's the one thing? Your one thing will be the thing that you need to do that day in order to move 1% closer to your goals. For me, it may be writing a video script or recording a YouTube video. For you, it may be writing out a grocery list and recipe creation with new healthy ingredients to try to get your health back on track. Whatever your biggest goal is right now, you'll choose a task that is the most important to be able to get 1% closer to that goal. And then that's it. That's the one thing you'll focus on that day. Now, of course, as a mom, there are millions of other things that we need to remember and focus on. So underneath my one thing, I then have written my secondary priorities. But they're just that. They're secondary. I don't move on to those tasks until the one thing is complete. I also write down menial reminders that can be done on the fly. So, of course, if I've got 5 extra minutes or I'm in the car and I can make a call, then of course those things get done throughout the day. But I don't move on to anything bigger than it until I get my one thing finished. Having one thing to focus on gives your mom brain the push it needs to focus instead of seeing a laundry list of tasks that you have no chance of completing in 24 hours. It helps you gain confidence that you're actually progressing towards your goals because at the end of each day, you can happily say that you completed the most important task of the day. The other tasks that you had on the list, maybe that's tomorrow's priority. But this prevents procrastination and multitasking. And I don't care who you are, but the data is in. Multitasking doesn't make you a faster worker. It actually slows down your productivity, creativity, effectiveness, and it lowers your IQ. So the one thing is truly doing wonders for your overworked mom brain. Tip number 2 is block scheduling your time. As a mom, I know it can be so easy to forget appointments, meetings, and play dates. I can't even tell you how many times I walked into the pediatrician's office only to realize that my appointment was the next day. It's also hard to know when you've overscheduled yourself if you don't have a visual calendar to refer back to. And we overschedule ourselves, we end up feeling overwhelmed. And when we feel overwhelmed, we can make rash decisions. And this affects our ability to think clearly and focus on what's important. And then we can just find ourselves scrolling on social media when we feel so overwhelmed that we just shut down. And that's when we end up losing time in our day. When we overschedule ourselves, we don't leave any room for getting in the flow and accessing our creativity and critical thinking. So this tip is about using an app like Google Calendar and start block scheduling your time. Input every appointment and reminder and color code everything. If you can block schedule your time for work, exercise, socializing, and everything else in between, and then color code those activities, you'll be able to see on which days you've overscheduled yourself and where you might need to cancel on plans in order to protect your peace. I also love using my calendar as a way to set reminders when I move into different phases in my cycle, and I can see where I might have overscheduled myself during a phase where I know I typically feel less likely to want to socialize. This is an amazing tool to recognize patterns in the month when you feel more tired and not able to cope with an overloaded schedule. All things that impact how much you can get done in a day. My me time is sacred. So this next tip is called managing your me time. I've learned over the last year that if I want to have a peaceful meditation and morning routine, I just have to get up at 5:30 in the morning to do it before anyone else is awake. That's something that works for me, and I protect that me time at all costs. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that you have to get up at 5:30 in the morning to be able to fit your me time in. You might like your 10 a.m. yoga class after the kids go to school. Protect your time at all costs. Put it in your calendar and treat it as if it were a lunch date with a friend. You wouldn't cancel on a friend for lunch, so don't cancel on yourself. Having this dedicated time for you, even if it's just 5 minutes every day, will ease your mind in knowing that you have some time to recharge and do something that fills your cup up. So you have more to give throughout the day and the week, giving you back more time. This last tip is a real batch. It's called Batch Please. Whatever you can do to maximize your time doing a task that you do repetitively will save you tenfold. Maybe Sundays you meal prep for the week. Maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays are your cleaning days. Maybe Wednesdays are your days for business calls, and Fridays are your content creation days, maybe if you run a business. It takes a lot to get into the flow of one activity: cooking, cleaning, writing, Zoom calls, whatever it is. See where you can batch these tasks so that you don't have to spread yourself thin all week trying to keep up with the same tasks every day. And there you have it, just a couple of my fave ways to give myself a little more time in the week to invest in myself, in my family, and in my business. They may seem simple, but simple is good because simple means it's easy to implement, and the science tells us that easy to implement means easy to keep consistent. Consistency over time forms habits, and habits over time become a natural part of who we are. And what's not to love about being a natural at giving yourself more time? For more tips on body, mind, soul, health, all the in-between, be sure to check out our Instagram at HelloTrueNature. And if you're ready to start thriving in motherhood in your own unique way and to design your mom life the way you want, be sure to check out our program Thrive Like a Mother by booking a free clarity call with me today. You can click on the link below. Namaste.